They'll be calling you a radical, Kevin Blash. I'm here with Hippie with a Gun, passing through. Just got back from California. First off, I want to report this, that the ocean is worse than it was. I mean, it's getting much, much worse. Much worse. As I was up and down the coast, I've been documenting those tide pools since Fukushima happened. It's a catastrophe. It's fucking dead. I mean, dead. So, 6 years ago today, I stood right here. Fukushima, they're gonna lie if you believe them. Pat Tillman, Saddam has weapons, the whole lie, went on that epic historical rant. They're gonna genocide the Pacific Ocean. The salmon are gonna collapse in 2016. It's gonna give you leukemia. I got leukemia. So he's been in Eugene with the hypocrites, and you got the right wing, you got the hypocrites drinking juice from an organic cardboard cutout moose. It's all manufactured, it's all fake. Then you got the right-wingers freaking, it's all God's will written in the studio walls, cuts out. They're both, and they're just fucking killing the world, because the bottom line, it's a bunch of apathetic, fainty goats who can't handle the truth. They're weaklings. The activism community is weaklings. They're all weaklings. So tell us about the Oregon salmon collapse and why you think you've been living there, nobody does anything.
It's very disturbing, because I moved to Oregon to be an activist because I knew there was radical activists there, and I've lived there 5 years, and I have never been more disappointed in my life, because people there are so indifferent. Like, they're brainwashed into this whole fake left-right paradigm that doesn't exist, and they only support what they consider as liberal issues. And it's like, no, we got bigger fish to fry. There's, you know, they're friggin', the Pacific Ocean is in epic collapse, and none of this concerns you. You mentioned Fukushima to people on the streets in Oregon and Washington. They're like, huh? They look at you like a dog that's just been shown a dog trick or a card trick, and it's like, what the hell? They don't have a clue. They're totally indifferent. You know, they claim that because they eat organic that they're activists and whatnot, and it's like, look, you know, if you're not anti-nuclear, you're not an activist. You know, you're getting radiated every day. You got geoengineering, chemtrails poisoning you. You got Fukushima radiation everywhere. It's like, you know, the fact that, you know, you try to have a conversation with some of these people. You tell them, hey, look, Obama raised the radiation levels post-Fukushima, and they don't believe you. They're all like, oh, we love Obama. It's like,
remember
no.
what he said 6 years ago in 2 days?
Yeah.
Now, repeat what Obama said. He stayed on the White House lawn,
Yeah.
gave his press conference. Go
Like,
ahead.
yeah, 4 days later, he's on the White House lawn, and he's all like, I want to tell you what I know, that the United States is not a threat, or there's no threat of any radiation, blah, blah, etc. And it's like, that was an epic
we're
lie.
going to keep you monitored, and we're going to keep you posted on this,
Yes.
he says.
And it never happened.
Later that day, he was flown out to South America with Jeffrey Melton, who's going to resign today, by the way. This is the University of General Electric. This is the Wattis Construction who built the reactors, which I used to professor. We're on the university. We're at American Ground Zero. I do all this. He flew out with Chicago Bridge, the Savannah River, Babylon's Tower, and Jeffrey Melton and GE. They flew out with the biggest entourage in U.S. presidential history to South America to get out of the plume and to orchestrate the cover-up, which is still ongoing. It's Groundhog every day. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I want to say this. 2 years ago, I lived on the Columbia River. And besides Fukushima, we have Hanford that's been leaking into the Columbia River, killing all the fish. And I remember, like, when I lived on the river there, I remember seeing, like, tons of sea lions swimming all the way up the river from the coast because they were starving to death looking for food. And I remember telling people, then it's like, you know, all these fishermen, they're all bitching every day. They're like, all the fucking sea lions are fucking eating all the fish. We can't catch any.
Call the comrades. They killed over half the comrades. They're shooting the seals. That's their answer. This is how pathetic Oregon is.
And I kept telling
pathetic.
And I kept telling them the reason why the fish are dying is because of Fukushima. And the fishermen were like, huh? What's Fukushima? It's like, oh my God. Like,
well, again, up is down, black is white. Where they should be fighting the most, they're fighting the least. This has come from a dead seagull on the coast, whatever. Where they should be the part of the force is Oregon. Oregon gets hammered all day, every day. The cancer epidemic. These mammals are collapsing and dying. So Wyden and DeFazio. So I used to talk to Wyden constantly. He's head of the committee. He went to Fukushima. Fukushima.
He went there 4 times.
Yeah, and now he won't
4
talk to me.
times.
And so you're the only one that goes and asks DeFazio.
Yeah, like I walked right up to DeFazio on the Inauguration Day march. Like they had a big protest there, and he's speaking. And as he's walking down from the podium, you know, I walked up to him. I was like, hey, Mr. DeFazio, what do you think of Fukushima? And he's just like wide-eyed. It's a disaster, and blah blah. And he's scurrying to get away from me because he knows.
You can hear his Japanese aide in the background say, "Oh, that's clear over there." This is not.
It's like, it's clear over there, but it's everywhere. The whole fucking world is affected by this.
Eugene, Oregon's more contaminated than Tokyo ever dreamed to be. The jet stream moves left to right, as
Yes.
I said. Well, that's what I did not do 6 years ago. The jet stream moves left to right. Here, I reported that the Fukushima fallout was here in Eugene, Oregon, and Sacramento, California,
Like
in 12
hours, right.
12 hours. It's an undocumented argument fact. And so now salmon go to sea for 5 years. So we've got an insider that's going to be in Wyden's office in D.C. on Friday.
Awesome.
Now, shh, don't tell anybody this. Don't leak this to any of you guys, people, because he's a plant that we've planted in there. He's going to be in Wyden's office. They're going to be talking about Fukushima, and I orchestrated this. He's a nice guy, and he's a good guy, and he's one of Wyden's buddy, but he's going to call me directly right out of there and report to me. Which
Awesome.
I have some insiders. Don't kid yourself. I got some real good whistleblowers, and I don't give up my fucking sources. I ain't no rat, like a lot of these rats and these fake activists are. No, I stand fucking for it, and you do too. And so, the salmon have collapsed. It's epic. It should have been emergency closed. And Oregon, like you said, what's the problem?
They're totally indifferent. They just don't give a fuck. They claim that because they're liberal, they're in the right, but they don't support real activism. When you confront them about real issues, they go silent or numb, or they scurry away from you because they know about it, but they know that like they don't want to.
They won't deal with the hardcore truth because they're weaklings.
Right, they're
like
weaklings.
we are here. In the right state here, we're in a red state. They're weaklings here. They're all America's a bunch of weaklings.
Right.
Activism means active. It's the Latin derivative word pseudo de facto. My uncle Argyle taught me. You freaking walk. It is the derivative one word for act, which means the Greek word that means do. Do. Get off your asses and do. So stay tuned, and we're going to get back to this, but they've collapsed. The salmon have collapsed, and my report from the ocean, I've walked the entire coast multiple times. We worked so hard up and down that coast, Patrick and I'm so exhausted. I didn't go home till late last night. Got home this morning on the airplane, but
and the videos of the tide pools were incredible, by the way. I didn't know.
It's gotten worse.
There was barely any sea anemones.
You can't smell the ocean. You can't taste it. It's antiseptic. It's freaking sterile. I mean, the animals are all dead. And there's very few whales left, very few seals, the ones like me, I was given 2 months to live on 11/11. I'm still here because I fight. So I'm glad you came through and we got a video. Theo. Keep up your work.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Kevin. It's an honor to meet you. Stay in tuned.